by far one of the greatest lessons I ever learned in my entire life, which is, I'm about to be 21, so I haven't had a long life. But it's, before I tell you, I want to tell you a story, and this video is not scripted at all. So if you hear pauses and if you hear a lot of pauses, it's because I'm trying to stop stuttering and I'm trying to learn how to speak way better and more articulate myself just a lot better in general. But let's get into it. I'm gonna kind of tell a story and just of where I'm at and what my goals are in life. I'm not necessarily tell you my goals. Anyways, I'm trying to find a way to phrase this correctly where you guys can understand. But by far one of the greatest things I've learned in life is that you are not the money in your bank account. And you are not who people say you are. One thing that I've struggled with is that, and I found that is when I have less money in my bank account than I really should have, I tend to get lazier. I tend to stop doing the things that got me that money in my bank account in the first place. And that's one of the biggest lessons I've had in my life. And over the past couple months, the reason I haven't been posting, the reason I've been inconsistent, is because I feel like I've lost a sense of purpose for living. And recently, I kind of realized, and one of the biggest lessons I want to teach in this video today is that, purpose isn't just going to be handed to you. You can sulk, you can be sad every single day and not do anything, but the real part is that nobody's coming to save you, and I had to realize that. One thing is, when I used to have a lot more money in my bank account than I do now, and one thing is what I realized what type of person I am was I stopped doing things that got me that money when I didn't have that money anymore. I started getting lazy, I stopped working out like I used to. I stopped doing a lot of things, I stopped posting, which is probably the most detrimental thing I could have done to myself. But that's one of the biggest things I've learned is that you're not your money in your bank account and that purpose isn't going to be handed to you. And I feel like that's one of the most important life lessons I could have learned in the past, in the most recent times. Because I feel like I can take that with me forever, One of the craziest things to me is over the past couple months, man, it's been weird, because I feel like I'm in like some sort of trance, some sort of limbo, or it's like, I'm not living, but I'm not dead either, I feel like I'm just kind of in the middle and kind of just like thoughtless. There's nothing in here. There's nothing going on in here like there usually is. It's just kind of just blank. I felt like an NPC for the past couple months, because I had just got back on a trip to Miami, and I can tell you a lot of things went sideways. They weren't supposed to go that way, but God's plan. I trust God. But I lost myself over the last couple months. I lost purpose. I feel like I lost the reason why I was doing everything I was doing. Just because of certain life situations that came up, that really hit me hard. I felt like I lost myself at a certain point. And I just kind of want to get on here and kind of tell you that purpose won't be handed to you. You just have to find your purpose. And that's way easier said than done, Even like now, making this video, I'm not going to say I fully found my purpose, but I have a reason to get up and start doing things again, Because I was watching a Jordan Welch video, and he was kind of just saying, you have to be disgusted by the way you're currently living for things to actually get better. And I realized one thing he did not say is he said hate. He never said hate. He never said hate, because hate it's an emotion that only hurts you, hating in your heart. But disgust is a different thing. So I found a new purpose, and my purpose, I feel like, and I'm young, I'm not gonna say I fully found my purpose in life and I know what I want to do, whatever. Okay, that's a bad way to phrase it. But I know what I want to do. But you know, I don't know. I'm sorry. I literally just started this video. I didn't really have my thoughts collected together like that. So I'm just kind of just making this video off a whim and trying to just get better. But anyways, he said you got to be disgusted by the way you're currently living. And then now it finally clicked, and I am disgusted by the way I'm currently living. I just told my friend, I told Andre, my 6-month plan of how I'm going to become successful in the near future. And he said it was a good plan. I'm not going to say it on here because, you know, Jordan West said not to say it on here. So I'm trying to follow his advice. But yeah, it felt like over the last couple months I kind of lost myself. And I was like, basically got lost in the sauce, low key, you know. But I kind of just want to come on here and say that I have a reason to strive and live again, you know. I have a reason to get up in the morning and do what I need to do. And it feels a lot better. And the way I did that, honestly, if you want like a really honest way I did that, is just I just kept getting up. You know, a lot of people think like, oh, when I did eventually hit those life struggles, you know, it was really hard to get back up. I'm not gonna sit here and say I just got back up like that. You know, it was really hard to find another reason to keep doing this again. You know, because I feel like entrepreneurship, you know, is one thing that will really make or break you, because entrepreneurship is not only, you know, you're really depending on yourself. Entrepreneurship is, see, starting the business is the easy part, and all my entrepreneurs know this. The hardest part in entrepreneurship, I feel like, is the person you have to become to start these businesses, to start a successful business. You know, you have to learn discipline. You have to learn to keep going when things are hard. You have to learn so many things about yourself. You know, entrepreneurship, if you want to learn about yourself, start entrepreneurship, because it will 100% teach you so much about yourself and what you can handle, what you can't handle, and what you will have to eventually handle. You know, it would put you in a place, a dark place, you know, because not only will it give you motivation to be like these people you see on the internet, but also it will crush your soul because you realize you're nothing like these people, you know. But then you also got to realize that you are like these people, and the only thing different is that they put in the work and you didn't, yada yada yada, whatever. But one of the best things I could say is that if you want to find purpose, I'd say start entrepreneurship, start something, you know, and make a promise to yourself. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to come on here and say that, because over the past couple months, like I said, I'm going to keep repeating this. I felt like I've lost myself. I lost a sense of purpose. I lost the reason why I was doing things. And the way I got out of that, bro, is honestly, it's just, there is no way to do it. You know, there is no step-by-step, one-to-one course, one-on-one course you can buy where it's like, oh, I lost my sense of purpose in life. Let me buy this course. No, bro. The only way to get that sense of purpose back and get that motivation or get that discipline or get that reason to get up in the morning is that you got to be disgusted by the way you're currently living and realize that if you keep going the way you're going, is that it's going to be forever. If you keep letting yourself get beat down and beat up and restart and yada, it's going to be like that forever. So you eventually have to get up, make a change, and do the best you can to change your environment, to change how you're currently living, to change the way you think, you know, cut out all distractions, and really genuinely put your time and effort into things that are going to improve you. And when people hear that, they think you got to live some horrible life. You know, you don't have to live a horrible life. All you really got to do is just limit that. You know, no one's saying you got to stop having fun. No one's saying you got to do that. I mean, if you really, really, really want to get ahead over everybody, then yes, that's something you might have to do. But no one's saying you got to do that, bro. You can still have fun with it. But another thing is also, it's like dopamine spikes. You know, that would be like gooning. That would be like freaking social media, Instagram reels, everything like that. Like just dopamine spikes. You know, those will really hurt you. Like they feel good for like 30 seconds, an hour. But once it's gone, it's like you lost a sense of purpose and you don't know why you're living, and everything becomes boring and you get lazy and yada yada yada. And one thing I can tell you and to my future self is that those are going to limit you so much, you know? And I wish I've learned this at an earlier age. And I'm only 20, so I'm really young, so I'm kind of learning this pretty early. But anyways, I wish I learned this at 16, because who knows where I would be, you know? But if you're 16, 15, 19, 20, 30, 40, 50, 70, whatever, however old you are, all I gotta say is that dopamine hits will hurt you. The only way to get your purpose back is to actually get up and do things that you know you need to be doing. Second, is that if you want to learn about yourself and know what your limits and know what you can and can't do, start entrepreneurship, start business, try to get somewhere in life you know you can't be. I mean, you know you can be, or, you know, make a promise to a loved one. But I don't know, man. I just kind of want to come on here and yap and talk to you guys for a little bit, because that's kind of where I feel like my head is at right now. You know, it's been a crazy couple months, and that's the reason why I really haven't been posting. You know, a lot of people have been wondering where I'm at, what I'm doing. A lot of people wonder why I'm not making videos, but I kind of want to come on here and address it, because I don't know, man. It's just been a weird couple months, and I kind of want to come on here tell my story of how I got out of that state of limbo I was in. You know, that little weird trance where it's like I'm not really doing anything productive, but I'm also not doing anything at all. I'm really just kind of in that middle part where it's nothing is happening. I'm just doing this. You know, I'm just staying still like this. I'm not doing this like I usually. I'm not going up, down, 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 down. You know, or going up, 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 or down, 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 up, 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 down, down. You know, it's really just like this, a flatlining. You know, so that's what it felt like for about the past couple months. But I feel like I'm back. I feel like I'm alive again. I feel like I have another sense of purpose, you know. And I feel like this one isn't going to go away. You know, life is going to do life thing, you know, trials and tribulations. But, you know, I feel like I'm really back, you know. I feel like I have another reason to kind of keep going at this life thing again, you know, instead of like giving up halfway. But yeah, I mean, if you watch to the end, I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. 10,000 if we can. I have no doubt in my body that we can't hit 1,000 subscribers. So go ahead, subscribe. Click that subscribe button, man. Watch the videos. Make sure you liking them. Make sure you watch to the end. Make sure you comment. But leave some comments down below if you have any ideas of what videos I should make or anything you want me to talk about. I'll talk about them, because, you know, why not? But yeah, man, deuces, y'all.